a lot of times we understood about light, reflection, shadows. But if I am again taking lecture, I am again taking lecture this same this same topic. It means it is a revision of the same topic. Okay, of the same topic. So light. Our topic is light, shadows, reflection. As far as I think so, uh, you know already about it. Something a little information. Can you discuss about this with somebody? Everybody now, at least most of you know that exact words may not be to describe a word. Okay, but meaningful sense of a word, sense of meaning should be one or two, one or two. So we are at standard level. Standard. We are at standard level. Till here we can describe it. Light. We see in our room this bulb is glowing out, which is what light. Shadows. Shadows. We see shadow of a object. I am object. Yeah. Whatever we are looking, materials, objects, things. So these things are visual. That's why we are able to see that objects, that those materials, those things, because they are visible. Because those are visible. That's why. Okay. So here, to describe object word, object would be visible. We can touch that object. Those object. So here we are not talking about invisible materials. Invisible material, for example, love, hate, angry. These are invisible materials for a human, for a living thing, for living things. So here, whenever we say object, it means we are describing about the visual things, about physical thing. Okay. So light. What do you understand by light word? As I told you just from your perspective, you would say light which we see in our room. This bulb is glowing up. In other word, we can say this is light. That's it. Something is glowing up. It is light. Okay. Yeah, you are correct. So light, we can see the objects because of light. Through help of light, we are able to see the objects because of light. Clear? Light has more wavelength of colors. This is a discussion at standard level. Standard level. Our eyes, our eyes, our eyes see the objects. When light is falling on the object, then our eyes are able to see the objects. So here I am saying, let's suppose inside the dark room, there is a no light facilities. Then our our eyes be able to see the objects? No. Inside the dark room, there are objects, but there are not light facilities. So now we are there. Okay, we are there. We our eyes can't see even now. So here there should be compulsory of what light there. Two things are compulsory to describe light. First, light there should be light facilities and then object. Okay, whatever we wanted to see. So it is a simple definition. What when we will move towards, then automatically uh, we will enhance to describe it. Okay, automatically. So moving on, next next is luminous objects. Luminous objects. Have you any ideas regarding this? Luminous objects. We are already clear that what are objects. We are already clear. So luminous is object. Clear? Luminous is object. Whatever we will describe. So we will be describing about things, about material, which is in physical form, which can be touched by us. Luminous objects. It is a said. It is a saying that this is object. What? Car, house. Is it object or not? Yeah. This is object. Other side. What? We were discussing about light. So let's take an example. Sunlight. Sunlight. Outside. Outside we see what sunlight. I'm saying about that light. Okay. So this is one. This is second. And third, sunlight. Torch. Torch. So here, try to understand house, sunlight, torch. We have three object. We have three objects to describe it. Okay. So it is the same. You have three objects. Now can you identify which one of these will be luminous object? Which one? Okay. Which one? So definition of this is that those objects, anything object, okay, anything object, but those objects have their own light. So those objects will be kept in the category of luminous object. So house has a house their own light? No. It has no any type of light. House has no any type of light. That's why this is nothing for luminous object. It will not be kept in the category of luminous object. Sunlight, torch, both these have their own light. Own light. Here word is coming own light. So both these object have their own light. That's why these are examples of luminous object. Clear? So it is a anything objects, but condition is those objects should have their own light. That's it. And those objects would be known as luminous objects. So here we can write in a written form those objects which should have their own light. Okay. For example, sunlight, torch. Now, non-luminous, opposite of this word would be what non-luminous objects. Uh, so opposite, it answer of description of this would be opposite regarding this. So those objects which have which you don't have their own light. For example, as we saw, we discussed, but through this we understood. So, house is an example of non-luminous object, and sunlight torch are examples of luminous object. So, this object mm, don't have their own light, and these objects have their own light. That's why we classified this into two categories. Okay, I hope we are clear this about this. Artificial light. Um, what do you think about artificial light and natural light? So artificial light, artificial lights are made by human. That's it. That's to understand about artificial light. So artificial, whenever we use artificial word with anything material, so we are describing what those materials are being made by human. Those materials are made up by human. That's why we use artificial word with something material. With something material. So here artificial light. So lights, those artificial lights are made up by human. That's why it is a being said what artificial light. Whereas nature light, it is not made by human. It is impossible to made by human. It is made by nature, not human. These are difference between what? These are difference between nature light and sunlight. Okay? So we are moving to next. We are moving to next. Next is transparent, opaque, and translucent objects. Now, we are going to discuss about objects. But we need to identify which type of material, which type of object would be transparent, would be opaque objects, would be translucent object. So here we have to identify, okay, through definition of transparent object, opaque and translucent. Transparent object. First of all, as we know, this is object. Clear? Through practical, let's try to understand. This is object. This is object. Clear? So, as we understood, what in a room there should be one thing. What there should be two things. First, source light, and second, any material, any object, whatever you wanted to see. So here there is this what source light. Clear? Coming light from this source light like this is falling on this object. Clear? This light is falling on this object. Now this object is not giving allow to pass this light, and this light is being blocked by this object. So here In a book language, from perspective of book language, we can say what uh, object don't allow to pass the light through them, through through them. It is a description of what transparent object. Whereas if we try to understand through our language, then we can say what there is a one source light and other side on the other side there is a one what object. Light is coming from source light and those lights are falling on the object on the on the object and these lights are not passing through object. These lights are not passing through objects. These lights are being blocked by these objects. Now, because of lights are being blocked by these objects, shadow of this object would be formed by this blocked light. Here, by this blocked light. Uh, so here we see what. So this was not a description of a transparent object. I described about the pipe object. Okay. Let's understand about it. This type of object, this is a transparent object. Now, coming light from source light is giving allow. This object is giving allow to pass this light. So glass window allows to pass the light coming from somewhere, coming from somewhere. So glass window allows to pass the light, and there would not be any type of shadow behind the transparent object because light is passing through transparent object. If light were not pass, if light would not would not be passing through a transparent object, then it would not be what transparent object. But this object is giving allow to pass these objects, to pass this light. That's why it is said what this object is what transparent object. And this light is passing through this object. So how is it possible to fall shadow behind this object? No, it is impossible. And this will not happen anymore because light is passing. This is if light if light is not passing, then there is a possible to fall shadow behind this. Okay. So light is passing through this. It is a description of a transparent object. And through other example, we are here. Clear. We can see from this side behind this side because of this is a transparent object. It describes what you can see through help me behind me what area behind area of me. You are able to see the area behind the subject. So because of light is going through this object, that's why you are able to see the behind area of this object. We can say object which allow to pass the light through it. Through it. It is a description of a transparent object. For example, glass window, glass uh, okay, glass material. Now opaque object, opaque object. We just understood what this light is going. We don't know which type of object is there. We don't know. So let's try to identify. L- Light is coming from source light. Now light is being blocked by this object. That's why shadow will be formed behind this object because of light is being blocked by this object. That's why we can see shadow of this object behind this object. Clear? Uh, and in book language, we say this process what this source, this object don't allow to pass this light to them, through it, and light is blocked by this object. The shadow is formed behind this object. Through another example, we are here and now we can't see anything behind this object. We can't see area behind this object. Clear? So it is a describing about opaque objects. This objects which don't allow to pass the light through it. It is a description of opaque object. Clear? Now it's a time to understand about the translucent object. Translucent object. What would be your perspective regarding this after this understanding? Okay, we can find out something information regarding this from this discussion. Can you discuss? This object describes that coming light from this source light, something this light will be blocked by this subject. Clear? But something light will pass through this object. It is a description of translucent object. Translucent object. Got it? You got it? I mean, something light will be blocked by this object, but whereas something light will pass through this object. It is a definition of this word. Okay, through another example. We are here. We are here. We are here. Okay. Now we can't see. Our eyes will not be able to see completely behind this object. And this is object what? This is a translucent object. It describes you would not be able to see area behind me completely. Something you can see, but something you can't see behind me. Okay, this is the same. So here you are here, and through from this side, you something can see area behind this. Clear? But whereas something you can't see. Okay, through book language, if we understand, then something light will be blocked, but whereas something light will be passed by this object. Passed. Object which allows to pass something. Clear? Object which something which allows to pass light something light object which allows to pass something light, but whereas whereas something light will be blocked by the same object, but whereas something light would be blocked by the same object. It is a description of translucent object. Clear? This was. Now we are moving to next. Let's see. Next is about shadow. Shadow. Can you explain? After discussion of shadow, we will move on mirrors and a reflection. I think that's it. I think that's it. After discussion of shadow. Shadow. But with the discussion of a shadow, we will understand also about the size of the shadow, shape of shadow. 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 Okay. Are we clear or not? Shadow. When will shadow be formed? When? When light will be blocked by the object, then shadow will be formed by that object. Clear? Uh, Shadow. This is object. So to see the shadow of a object, those objects should be what? Opaque objects. Then it will be possible to form shadow behind a object. So this is object. Clear? This is object. So these objects should be opaque. Then if we say if we have a transparent object, then transparent object would not form shadow. That's why I'm saying we should have uh, opaque objects. Clear? To describe shadow. Now this is short slide. This is a source light, and light from this coming light up from this source light is falling on this object. Now this is what? This light will be blocked because uh, this is what opaque object. Clear? Opaque object. Now this light will get a reflect into another direction. This is a description of a reflection of a light. This is incidence because this light is coming from source light, but when it will hit on a surface of a object, then it will turn into another direction. This light will be known as reflection. But we are discussing at standard level, at a standard level. But now, as of now, we we needed to understand about shadow. This light is coming from this source light, is falling on this object. Now it is a turning into another direction because of this is a opaque object. This light is being blocked by this object. It is a turning into another direction. That's why we see what uh, behind this object, what shadow of this behind this object, shadow behind this object. We see when light falls on surface of this object, then it gets reflected into another direction. Yeah, it happens when it happens like this when light is getting reflected. Then clear, I think clear. That's it. As far as I know, what size of a size of shadow of object we are going to describe. We are going to describe. This source light is near in front of this object. Then then this size of a shadow of this object would be large. Am I right or wrong? When source light is kept near in front of a object, then size of shadow of object would be large. But whereas if we put this source light far in front of this object, then size of the shadow of this object would be smaller. Okay, this was okay. Uh, Light is falling on surface of object. Light is falling on surface of object. It gets reflect. It gets reflect. Light is falling on surface of object. It gets reflect into another direction. Another direction. Direction. It means it means light is being blocked. Then it is possible to form shadow behind a park object. Object should be put a park. Should be a park. Clear? Now, shape about shape. Shape buddy, shadow of object we give additional information. about shadow, about objects, and in my editing working, I saw importance of this, importance of light, importance of a shadow. When I create animation, when I create something in my editing working, then I realize that it is compulsory to understand about this. When we are clear regarding this, then we are able to complete work within a limited time. That's why something to understand it is a compulsory, so that without any nervous, without any anxiety, we can work whatever we want to do. So it is a possible when we are clear, when we don't have any doubt. If we have doubt, then it is our duty to be clear whatever we have doubt. So understanding is a compulsory to enhance our creativity. Yep. Shape. Here you can see shadow of this hand behind this hand. So it is a possible some light is coming from somewhere and is falling on this hand. This light is not passing through this hand. That's why shadow is behind this hand. That's why, because of light is not passing through this object, through this hand. Clear? Through this hand. Now, something sometimes we can realize, we can say whatever we see, shape of a shadow of a object, we can't say this shadow is of that object is of animal. We are not able sometimes. Okay, so we can't have a real we can't have a definition, a real definition. No, we can't have a real shape of a object. Sometimes, like this, we can realize you are going through your uh, in a night, you are going through your uh, road, through your road. You see what shadow. You see shadow of somebody on wall. So you can't. You are not able to see. Uh, this shadow would be. This shadow would be no. So shadow, shape of shadow can't give us a real what a real point, a real point to describe original object that is being that was being put to that shadow. Mirror, mirror, mirror. We have three mirror: plane, uh, plane, concave, convex. Plane, concave, convex. Here we are going to understand about plane. This is a plane mirror. Clear? Whenever we comb our hair, we go to the near of a mirror. We are in front of mirror. We see what our image. We know that this is a duplicate image. So we are object, and inside the object we are looking our object. So that object would be indicated as an image. Clear? So we are here. We are here in front of a mirror. We are looking our image inside the mirror. So Like this we are looking. How is it possible? Can we describe it? How is it possible? So when we describe it, then we see what then we find light is falling on this mirror, and then it is getting reflected, and this getting reflected is coming is entering in our eyes. That's why we see our image inside the mirror. But this old and something lighter like this will go and like this. So this light is being blocked up by this object, by us, by us. Now this reflected light is falling on us. That's why our image, our image is formed by this mirror because of light falls, light fallen on us, then it get reflect on surface of mirror. Clear? So light coming light from source light is falling on this on surface of this mirror. It will get a reflect, and this reflect reflected ray will fall on us. Then also it will turn into another direction because we are opaque object. We are not a transparent object. Then it will turn into another direction, and as much as possible, this reflected ray after hitting us will turn into another direction, and this again reflected rays will fall on the surface of mirror. Then our full image will be formed by this mirror. So light is traveling in a straight line. In a straight line. Okay, we are not looking any barrier to stop this light. We are not looking. If light will not travel in a straight line, then there is a possible something we can see image of object, which is what? Which is an example of translucent. In plane mirror, in plane mirror, we see our image. This happens. We see our image. This happens when light is falling. When light is falling, when light is falling, no. When light is falling on the surface of mirror, it will get reflect. It will get it will get reflect. Then it will it will fall on us. Then again it will turn into another direction. This reflected ray will hit on surface of plane mirror. That's how full image of us is formed by plane mirror. Try to understand here about our size, but this is object because behind mirror we see what painted area, and this painted area is painted by silver, by named silver mm, melt material, melting material. That's why it is a what opaque object. This light don't pass through this mirror because behind the mirror we see what painted area by what painted area by something named silver melting material. Got it? I wanted to tell you that our size of object in front of a mirror would be equal. There would not be anything what unequal. Would not. There would be rather there would be equal. What size of a object in front of a mirror would be equal. Okay, there is no difference. Next, what size of a object in front of a mirror. Now, distance. Let's understand. Uh, we are in front of a mirror with 15 centimeter. Similar, behind the mirror, our image will be formed. Uh, behind the mirror will be formed with 15 centimeter. So our distance of an object in front of mirror is 15 centimeter. Similar, uh, image of that object behind the mirror would be same 15 centimeter. Okay. Yeah, our image could be inverted, which means opposite, upright, upright. Means our pair would be up and our head would be down. This is a description of inverted. Okay, inverted, which means opposite. Opposite. One thing more, what right side and left side of the object in front of a plane mirror would appear opposite. I am raising my left hand in front of a plane mirror, then my image inside the mirror would erase what uh, right hand. Like this, we will able to see. This is a difference. But when we discuss distance in the discussion of a plane mirror, then there is no any difference regarding distance of a object and behind the plane mirror. There is no difference regarding distance. Whereas distance and then size of object in front of a mirror is also There is no difference. Anything. There is no difference. But right side of object, left side of object could be would be opposite. Would be opposite. Our right hand would appear behind the what in left on the left side. Light cannot pass through opaque object. Yeah, obstruct the path of light. I hope we are clear. Uh, what should we discuss towards this? We are moving to the next discussion. 7. Next, light travels travels in straight line. In straight line. Straight what is right? Along straight line. If somebody says, if somebody says to you, what prove that light travels in a straight line? Would you be able to describe? Would you be able to prove that light travels in a straight line? How is it possible to describe it? Okay, if you don't know, if you know, okay, it is nice. So let's understand through practical example, through experiment, what light travels along a straight line. It is saying what light is going in a straight line. Okay? Uh, so light is going in other word, which means light is coming from source light. This is source light. This is going in a straight line. If this ray is going like this, so it is what? It is a expression. It is a expression. What? This is in a straight line. This is in a straight line. If you try to understand constant, then you would realize what this line is straight. Okay. Now this is a flame candle. Clear? This is a flame candle. Uh, we are trying to prove that the light travels along a straight line. This is a flame candle. This is pipe, and light is going inside this pipe from somewhere. Clear? From somewhere. Light is coming. Of course, this is going like this. So it is what? In straight line. That's why we can see. That's why. That's how we can see what flame candle. But whereas, but whereas this is bent pipe. This is bent pipe. This is bent pipe. Now, light is coming from source light. From source light is like this going. It will turn into another direction. So it is a turning. Light went through straight along a straight line till here, but then turns it turned it into another direction. So it is here we can't say what this is in straight line. No, here. That's why we can't. Our eyes can't see this flame candle, this burning candle. We can't see because light is not going in straight line. That's why light is not going in straight line. So it is when that is describing, which is describing light is going in unstraight. Clear? Light would go uh, along a straight line, then whatever we wanted to see, we can see. But the light is not going along a straight line, then we can't see whatever we wanted to see. Clear? This was the description of light that travels along a straight line. Second, reflection of light. Did you know we can see reflection of object, reflection of building, as we understood what a reflection of us, a reflection of human. We were looking, we see our reflection inside the mirror, which is what plane mirror. So it happens. This is a plane mirror. We are here. We are looking our image inside the plane mirror. So here, this is our reflection. It happens when light falls on this object and then it turns into another direction, that is falling on us. Then it will turn into another direction again. It will hit on surface of a mirror. That's why clear our image is formed by this mirror. By this mirror. That's how we see our image inside the mirror. Clear? This is a building. This is a building. Building. Here is what water pond. This is water pond. And here water is like a shiny material, shiny object. So object should be what shiny plastic. Then in front of if we put any object in front of shiny material, in front of plastic material, then we can see reflection of that object in front of shiny material, in front of what uh, plastic material. So here light, this is a sunlight. This sunlight is falling on surface of this building. that, and now it will get reflected into another direction. So this changes of this light changes direction of this light is a description of reflection of light. Okay, so it is getting reflected. It is getting reflected. Mhm. Water fountain. It is getting. So sunlight is falling on the subject. Sunlight falls on the building, and there is what a water pond near of this building. Clear. Okay, clear. Uh, then also something light will turn into another direction also. It will not stop. It will not stop. It will not stop. Then it something light will get reflected into another direction, and something this again reflected ray will hit on surface of a building. That's how images of a building inside the water pond will be formed. So all this is happening because of light of because of reflection of light, because of reflection of light, and this building is opaque object. This light is not passing through this building object. This object is opaque object. That's why this light is being obstructed. That's why it is getting reflected. This is incidence. This incidence is hitting on surface of this building. It is turning into another direction. It is turning into another direction. It is turning into another direction, which is what a reflection, like changes the direction of incidence ray. It is what reflected ray. Reflected. It will be known as a reflected ray. Clear? And here, this reflected ray is falling on surface of water pond. Again, it will turn into another direction that will be known as also what reflected. It can hit again on surface of a building. Clear? When we this is what light, glowing, glowing light. This is what one ray. That's why we say what it is ray. But whereas this is what these are rays, and we can use place of this what beam. Beam is a description of rays. Beam says what I have collections of ray. Clear? So here, this we are looking here a reflection of this building. So this is image. This building is image, and this is object. Clear? It is a compulsory uh, to understand, to keep remember for a long time, because it will help in mathematics. In mathematics, we we will be compulsory. We will be compulsory to identify which object would be image, or which object would be object. Okay, so we are original. Original is object, and whatever we are looking duplicate, which is what image, which will be indicated by image word. Clear? Next, right or left, we understood. Ambulance. 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 This word is written. This word is written uh, in front of ambulance vehicle. What? Ahead of ambulance vehicle. What? Ambulance word in strange manner. Why like this is written? Why like this? Why in strange manner ambulance word is written? Why? Because uh, you must have realized what you are in front of plane mirror. Then on your t-shirt would be uh, would write in correct way, but inside the mirror you would be would incorrect way, in a strange manner, in opposite you would say. Word would be opposite inside the mirror. That's why if this would be in a strange mirror, then in any mirror we can see what incorrect way we can see incorrect way this word. Then our vehicles will be alert to give allow to go this ambulance vehicle. It is our duty. Okay, it is our duty. It is the duty of everyone, every citizen, to go this ambulance. Playing with the spherical mirrors. Playing with the spherical mirrors. This is a spherical. This is a spherical. Clear? This is not exact diagram of a spherical, but you can understand. This is a spherical. We are cutting this a spherical mirror. We have a two part of a spherical mirror. One would be like this. We have now after this cutting a spherical mirror, we have two parts of a spherical mirror. One like this and second like this. Now we are going to identify which would be concave and which would be convex. So concave, cave, cave, which means what? Uh, towards, insideward, outwards, inside. Cave, which means inwards. So this area would be what? Painted, and this is a painted area by silver melting material. Now light would fall from this source light like this. This is what? Concave. So outward of this surface would be painted area. Inward, inward area of this concave would be known as what would explain about concave word. Whereas this is a convex mirror because outward, outside, outside surface of this spherical object is a smooth, and the inward of this spherical mirror is painted by named melting painting material. So outside of this spherical mirror, mirror is a description that explains about convex mirror. Clear? This smooth this uh, mm, outer side is an indicator which explains convex mirror. This outer side that explains convex mirror, and this inward side which explains uh, concave mirror. Concave mirror. Clear? Uh, further regarding this, we try to we will try to understand